Harry Nautilus was half reclined on his couch and listening to a YouTube upload of a performance by jazz great Billie Holiday and thinking her voice was a trumpet, the words not sung as much blown through that life-ravaged throat, some notes low and growled, others bright as a bell on a crisp winter morning. 15 years ago, give or take, Nautilus had sat in this same room with a half-baked man-child named Carson Ryder when the kid had asked Nautilus why he listened to all that old music. Nautilus had dosed the kid with Waller, Beiderbecke, Armstrong, Ellington, Holiday, Henderson. They started at sundown and met the morning with Miles. Along with the intro to jazz, Nautilus convinced the kid his degree in psychology and eerie ability to analyze madmen would be a gift to law enforcement. The next week, Carson Ryder signed up at the police academy, blowing through it like a firestorm, impressing many, pissing off as many more. He'd put in 3 years on the street before solving the high-profile Adrian case, advancing to detective and Nautilus's partner. They'd been the Ryder and Nautilus show for over a decade. But today, Carson was in Florida, and Harry Nautilus was a retiree. The show was over. And tomorrow morning, Harry Nautilus was going to the home of Pastor Richard Owsley to meet the man's wife and try for a gig as a driver. Last week's interview with the pastor had taken all of 15 minutes. The man like a 1,000-watt bulb in a room that only needs about 100. Pacing, smiling, gesturing, all assurance and zeal and, like Southern preachers everywhere, stretching one-syllable words into two and often using larger words than called for, which Nautilus ascribed to latent insecurities, perhaps caused by going to schools like West Doodlemont Bible College rather than Harvard Divinity School. It had all happened so quickly that Nautilus realized he knew little more about Richard Owsley than the stacks of books he saw at local shops, the man smiling on the cover with a Bible in hand. He took another sip of brew, set his computer on his lap, and checked YouTube for the pastor's name. There were several dozen hits, sermons it seemed. In his youth, Nautilus had been dragged from church to church by a procession of severe but well-meaning aunts, and figured he'd had enough sermonizing for a lifetime. He continued scanning the videos until he found a 6-minute piece titled Highlights, Richard Owsley on Willie Prince Show. Prince had a talk show out of Montgomery and was a regional favorite, a smug little fellow in his 40s with shaggy fringe-centric hair and a slight mouth permanently puckered toward sneer. Nautilus hit play, and the screen showed 2 men sitting at a round table in a television studio, dressed with a pair of bookshelves and artificial plants. Nautilus figured someone once told Prince that slouching would make him look more like William F. Buckley, so he resembled a boneless puppet dropped into a chair. Prince sat on the left and was speaking. Then, to recap, Reverend Owsley, you hold that Jesus wants people to have fine cars, boats, luxury items? Pastor Owsley was to the right, a dark-suited figure with narrow shoulders and a touch too much weight at his waistline, slightly pearish. His round and cherubic visage was topped by back-combed black hair. He looked pleasant and not particularly commanding, a small-town insurance salesman whose ready smile is part of the toolkit. Jesus wants people to enjoy abundance, Willie, Owsley said in a southern-inflected tenor and pronouncing the word in 3 distinct syllables, abundance. In biblical times, abundance might mean having a donkey, chickens, and a warm hearth. Today, it might be a new pickup truck and a house with a white picket fence. A chorus of hand claps and hallelujahs from the audience. A raised eyebrow from Prince. Or a Mercedes-Benz and a mansion in Miami Beach? If that is your yearning and you honor God, God will hand you the keys to the Benz, the keys to the mansion, and then finally, and best of all, the keys to his kingdom. It's in John 10:10. There I am come